Hi everyone, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome to Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul. और ये वेबिनार हम कर रहे हैं कंडक्ट ऑन अ स्पेशल रिक्वेस्ट फ्रॉम मेनी ऑफ यू who wanted me to go live and talk about what happened with Nifty. Why did it crash? If you have been checking my earlier webinar, which I conducted on last Thursday, we talked about a pattern and along with wave theory, I talked about how this can be the completion of an up move in terms of wave E, and a bigger downtrend can possibly start. And also, if you look at the entire movement, it is looking like a topping head and shoulder pattern, neckline being broken, targets not yet achieved. We have seen some pause in today's movement. So what happened in today's market movement? Let us just analyze that. A very good evening to each one of you. Sandhya, Bhushan, it's always pleasure to have you on board over here on this wonderful platform. So it's always nice. Kiran, Sahil, Rajesh, all of you over here. We are also live on YouTube at the rate Kyal Ashish and various other places. So it's very interesting. So what is that we are doing in terms of the market movement? Now, if you remember, if you understand, over the past 3 to 6 months of time, FIs have been either a net seller or very less buying. So the entire movement on Nifty, which happened from 14,000 levels of Nifty towards that 18,000 level, is driven by retail traders and investors. That's one. Next, if FIs have been left out, okay, fear of missing out is with FIs this time, not retailers. If FIs have been left out, generally I've observed that they will do they will ensure that they get the right opportunity to enter again, which is they are left out from 14,000 levels on Nifty. I'm not saying Nifty is heading towards 14,000, but I am just telling you the facts that I come across. Also, one more thing, please do not buy or sell basis of what I'm talking here. This is just what I understand about the markets, and it's up to you whether what you want to do. कल निफ्टी उठ के 18,600 क्रॉस कर देगा, then you will come back to me. You said markets are crashing, it's going back up again. Please don't do that. It's your responsibility to understand the market environment and trade accordingly. So what I'm telling right now is FIs have been the net sellers so far. If you look at it, 18,000 is no longer a very important support that we have seen in the past. We have clearly seen 18,000 options पे ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं. It's just whipsawed up and down, and sharp move happened towards 17,210. I think today's low was somewhere around that zone. Now from there we got a fast pullback also from nearly around, again, more than 300 points of pullback. So remember that this kind of movement is very normal. Okay, लोग जो ये चीज भूल चुके, if you go back and check during the corrections of March, this is how it behaved. Okay, the prices crashed sharply by 300, 400, 600 points. It rallied by 200, 300 points, and then again started going down. That was the norm in February, March 2020. That's how it behaved. So this 2 days of movement reminded me of that specific instance, because this is the very normal behavior during a major top being formed. This is a very normal behavior during major top being formed. I'm not sure if you have gone through my videos on YouTube where I have talked about 85 weeks top cycle, 85-week cycle. I have talked about it. In fact, someone told that he was watching a video about a year back when I highlighted November 2021 as an important month and the week also. I talked about it in that period of time about a year back. I again talked about it months before. I talked about it weeks before, and this is what we are seeing now. Okay, that 85-week cycle usually, जो time है 85 weeks का, that is usually a bottoming cycle. लेकिन bottom बनने के पहले हमें top तो चाहिए. Since we didn't had a top there before the bottom formations. For example, people who are getting confused, what I'm saying is 2008 का low, 2012 का low, 2020 का low, all of those lows have been a part of that program, part of that low of 85 weeks. Now, since 85 week is now, this past week was 85 week, this week is a part of that 85 week cycle. what we have seen is there is no top being formed. Okay, so how will a low form, right? That's the thing. So it can act as an inversion. So that can act as an inversion. That is very, very important that you have to understand. And I can clearly see Sandhya is saying I've been a part of Master of Cycles, where I clearly mentioned something will happen on 22nd November about Nifty and Reliance also. That is correct. Uh, and that's thanks very much, Sandhya, for pointing that out. Thanks, Praful, for that. I've been on the right side. So what is happening is 85-week cycle topped out, looks like that. Uh, and 17200 is the level I talked about for confirmation. And exactly that's where we touched. 55-day cycle is in the sell mode. So that's the time which is still in sell mode for next 10-15 days. That's on the sell side. 116-hour stopping cycle is on the sell side. And जो bottoming cycle is short-term bottoming cycle, that is resulting only a short bounce back. उधर से खाली थोड़ा ही bounce back आ रहा है, and the price are breaking out the lows. So for example, if tomorrow there is a cycle, a short-term bottoming cycle, we again have to see tomorrow कि जो bounce back आ रहा है, how deep, how big that bounce is. And if we take out the low of that cycle again, that's an opportunity to enter on the short side. For me, the market as of now, as long as 18K is protected, will be sell on rise. Because the candle, tell me last time, when did you see a fall of more than 400 points on Nifty in a single day? That happened yesterday. At one point of time, it was down by 450 points in one single trading session. Despite of all the euphoria and people buying the stock, this is not happened before, much before. So that reminds me that usually what Glenn Neely has said about in wave theory, in neo wave, usually the tops are formed with a violent reversals. Okay, that is when the majority of the people will be stuck. That is when the majority of the people will not have opportunity to exit. That's what happens. And the fall of 450 points, even though we closed with around 320, 330 points lower yesterday, was one of the biggest declining candle. Okay, this is very, very important that you have to understand. That's one of the biggest candle. Now, unless and until this fall get retraced by more than 61.8%, I'll show you to on the chart also. Unless and until we see a fall being retraced by more than 61.8% towards 80%, we can assume that the rise are going to be short-lived. We have to see tomorrow if we why tomorrow, because tomorrow there is a one bottoming cycle. We have to see tomorrow if Nifty can manage to bounce back another 200-300 points, then things can go sideways. But if it fails to do that, if it just goes, fails to go beyond that 18,700, 18,800 points in this week of time, then there is definitely, 17,700 and 17,800 levels, then there is definitely sign of concern that whatever you were doing earlier is about to change. And for months to come, I think months, not only weeks, I am saying for months to come, the top will not be taken out. So far, every single participant had been used to buy on dips. Okay, that was the strategy that worked brilliantly on the market. But now there is a possibility this buy on dips might get converted into sell on rise. As I'm saying, I'm keeping a watch on certain levels to conclude that with very high accuracy. Wave theory becomes extremely brilliant when there are major tops or bottoms formed. So wave theory becomes extremely brilliant. Remember that. And that's why my focus had been on the time side of it when we were rallying. Now that we are looking at a break of important neckline support, some support breaking out, weekly charts bearish, daily charts bearish. Now is the time that wave theory becomes extremely brilliant and important for, with accuracy, finding out where are we headed. So let me now go on the chart and share it across with you that how do we look at these things in a very simple fashion. So let me just share my screen along with you. This is the chart. I'm keeping it ready along with the topping cycle that I'm looking at. The reason I am now looking at topping cycle is that because if the bottoming ones are breaking down, the topping should help us. Okay, Now this is the neckline that you can see it on the chart. क्या आपको दिख रहा है neckline? Everything that you are able to see it on the chart. क्या आप समझ में आ रहा है what I'm talking about? This is a classic, typical head and shoulder pattern textbook example. I even tweeted yesterday about this is head, this is shoulder, this is shoulder. I even shared on my Telegram group, AK Trading Gurukul. There is a Telegram channel. Please be a part of that. And we started with the mentorship program this Saturday. We discussed in much detail about this pattern. So overall, if you are looking at this overall chart, it looks like, as I said, this was wave X. I'm just starting from here. A done, B done, C is done here, D done here. And you will remember when markets were at this point of time, which was such a long back, I still talked about how possibly the markets, okay, I'm so sorry, how possibly the markets can be in the form of a D leg on the downside. So there is a D leg on the downside, and how E is going to come in, which is only going to be about temporary, and there is not going to be much of the rally that we are going to see. And that exactly how the markets behaved by moving on the upside by only temporary in the form of wave E's. Okay, so let me just zoom out again over here. So what we are seeing is the entire formation that has happened was A, B done, C done on the upside. Okay, the entire fall on the downside was D, and this wall, which coincided with 116 hours stopping cycle, was wave E. After that completion, this wave E completed here. This leg got retraced back in faster time. So कौन सा leg retraced हो गया faster? You can see from this point onwards till here, this entire move got retraced in half or 1/4 of the time. Are there any participants from the Master of Waves program who have been attended that wave theory? If you remember, we have talked about that the last leg, usually during the important top, will get retraced in half or 1/4 of the time. Kiran Dikshit, AK Shah Kanil is here, Nilesh Pawar is here, fantastic. So are you able to see that? So that's what it happened, and we retraced that faster time. अगर समझो आपको ये भी नहीं पता है, वेव थियरी नहीं पता है, okay, so what I am talking about in terms of wave theory is the fact that this was X, this was A, B, C, this was D, and this was wave E got completed here, and from here we have seen a very sharp decline. Now ये head and shoulder का target आता है, this is the neckline. Okay, I've talked about it even on the last Thursday, and the target comes 1,000 points lower. I've even tweeted about this. So that comes to 16,600. Lekin first step first. Now that we have broken on the downside, the important aspect of today is that this is wave A. From this point onwards, okay. Now we are in wave B formation. Now this wave theory is going to give us some classic indication. I want Master of Waves participant to tell me now, if wave B takes lesser time than wave A, which pattern you think is forming? Okay, the key right now is to identify the pattern under formation. Nilesh Pawar is bang on, diametric. He is saying, others, are you with me? Okay, diametric is the pattern. Kiran is saying, are you, the others are able to understand? When wave B takes lesser time than wave A, there is a possibility of a diametric pattern under formation. Done. If wave B takes more time than wave A, if wave B takes more time than wave A, but retraces less than 61.8% of the fall. So the fall started here. So चलिए measure करते हैं. Where is 61.8% of the fall? In Fibonacci retracement यहाँ पर जाना है हमें. We just have to see where is the retracement gone. Okay, at the top. If the Fibonacci retracement is what I am taking from this point onwards till the low, okay, which is 17,777. Triangle is also a possibility that is there, but we will not start a big down move with a triangle, so that's not possible. So अगर 17,777 से कम रहा निफ्टी का retracement, which pattern will kick in? बोलिए. This is like a revision for the Master of Waves people and my mentees anyways. So if wave B is less than 61.8%, but takes more time than wave A, which pattern? Think about it. Zigzag. Bang on. Absolutely. So zigzag पे वो rule apply होता है where we see B taking more time but retracing less than 61.8. What if B retraces more than 61.8? Which pattern will kick in then? Which pattern will kick in then? B retraces more than 61.8% of A. Flat. Exactly. So this is like solving a paper, like puzzle or a mystery. You just want to now observe this B wave which is going on. This leg is the key leg which will give us a classic trading opportunity with C. And now start applying Ichimoku cloud on your charts plus wave theory. With this, you can now trade brilliantly the way you need to trade. In case, when do we change our stand is when Nifty retraces beyond this level of 17,930. So 17,930, which is 80% के beyond अगर retracement आता है, if that happens, then we will have to figure out something is different which is happening because ये neckline भी false हो गया. The target didn't happen and this was a false breakdown, but only if it happens. So I will change my stand once Nifty breaks above 17,900 level. The probability of that happening looks less, but there have been many times it has happened in this uptrend. False breakdown has happened. So we will see. We will see. And that's why I am saying that this rise for me is going to be sell on rise. Are you following me on Twitter? At the rate Kyal Ashish, if you are, then I have been constantly talking about during the market hours also how you have to trade this. So tomorrow is going to be an important. Now, how do we form an option trading strategy beyond that? For problem क्या हो गया मालूम है? Everyone is looking for trading in options, but they have no clue about market. That's the challenge. If you have no clue about the market, how will you trade options? Because for option trading, you understand the market. No, I would only sell options, so I don't really need to know where the market is headed by. If you're selling option, it's all the more important you know what is your stop and where it is headed. So it becomes all the more important if you are selling option to know the trend. So ऐसे scenario में where you know Nifty might not go beyond 17,900 and your undertone remains bearish, you can form certain strategies which will help you in options. You can form those strategies where your break even is where your max loss is 7,900, where your max gain is on the downside. So you know you can accordingly buy an option and sell an option so that your time value deterioration does not impact. So you're purely betting on delta or you're betting on theta or things like that. So now option strategy will come into play. For that, there can be different strategies in options. You can do a strangle, you can do a straddle, you can do iron condor, you can do simply timing the market by writing calls or puts. That's what I do majority of the time. क्योंकि range bound market को trade करने में वैसे ही पैसा ज्यादा बनता नहीं है. It's only when we are expecting a move, so on the downside or upside, that's when the majority of the trend happens, and that's where you can make classic money. So my strategy was shorting here. Mentees, do you remember I talked about it on Saturday? This Saturday, 17,680 breach below that will be the reason why we should be riding the trend on the downside. You remember that? It will break the neckline, and we discussed all of those possibilities. So okay, I can see a lot of people saying yes there. So ये Saturday को हमने discuss किया था, and that's where I shorted I didn't buy the put options. I shorted the call options. And then Sayan is saying yes, Kenil is saying remembering every word, and look at it, it behaved brilliantly, right? I shorted call options, and so Savidra is here, Chandan is here, yes, and it went brilliantly, right? So now I'm still making a lot of money by selling options. The reason I sold option is because I know this is the first leg A, and B can be very sharp and fast, which is happening. And for C, we will buy put options. Okay. Once we know that the B is completing, We will see. You have to be now very careful, very attentive. You will get classic opportunity only once you know the B is going to complete. Once you know that, you will get a classic C wave where you can buy put options and make a lot of money. If B goes deep inside, we will see what to do next. Then this might end up forming a triangle kind of a scenario, which Nilesh also said. Nilesh Pawar is doing extremely well. He has been my mentee last year, I suppose, the when we discussed about it. So, यहाँ पर overall in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is options are the way going forward. So you need to combine everything around options plus Elliott wave. We use time cycles very, very aggressively in this period, but now we will rely on topping cycles. Okay, now we will rely on topping cycles along with options plus Elliott wave. Am I making sense to you? So why this is A, what B, wave theory could help us to understand that. And Pulapali, you were not there on day one. Yes, I remember that. You have the access of day one. Go through that. It's mandatory. You have to go through day one. Okay, brilliant. So does it help in terms of what is happening? Because yesterday someone tweeted across, her millions of followers want you to go live and talk about what to do next. So this is how you should look at markets. I'm waiting for now this B wave. It's super that we got a pullback. RSI got relieved on hourly. Apply Ichimoku cloud also along with this. So you can go and apply an Ichimoku cloud as well along with this, which can help you to form a classic strategy, because Ichimoku cloud will give you the exact resistance. Elliott wave will tell you what to expect next after B completion, wherever it completes. And option is the way as an instrument to capitalize on your research that you have done. Okay. Kenili Singh, your webinars gives confidence on existing positions. Simply superb. Brilliant, Kenil. It's glad that it's useful. And this is how you have to do it. Okay. So that's what I wanted to talk about, how to trade options using this technique. And this is what you are. And look at Bank Nifty. Look at majority of the stocks. Everything has broken their supports. And the pullbacks are shallow so far. So we will see. But remember, in bear markets, in downtrend, sharp pullbacks will happen. Sharp rise will happen. Risk reward is important. So that is very, very crucial. So always understand these things very importantly, because without that, you will not be able to trade correctly. So understand the overall context of the market. That is what we are doing. Okay, isn't right shoulder below left or head and shoulder valid? No, that's no such thing. You can have two right shoulders, you can have one left shoulder, you can have multiple left shoulders, one right shoulder. That's all possible. Okay, so Anurag Sharma is here, who has tweeted across for this. Anurag, this webinar is purely because you tweeted it across and I'm doing it for you. So you have been responsible for learnings of so many of them. So thanks for doing it across. So that's why I thought, okay, let me come live. I wanted to come there yesterday also, but I have a lot of things. So I'm speaking at Edelweiss also tomorrow at 4:30. So that's the reason. And I'm also conducting a free webinar this Sunday, which is on options plus Elliott wave and time cycles. Do you want to be a part of that webinar? Okay. This Sunday, I'm going to do that. Okay, I can see so many of you are raising hands on that. Okay, fantastic. So we will do that on Sunday, a free 2 hours webinar. Let me just, I thought I'll announce it here. And also for people who want to be learning this method in and out, we have a BMW season 3. Okay, I call it BMW season 3, which is going to be there starting on December. We have it on December. You can simply participate in the poll, which starts on 11th and 12th of December. That is on option trading using technical analysis. That's very, very important. And also, then there is in January Master of Waves program. So become market wizard. You can be a part of this amazing program on option trading using technical analysis, and you can register. The early bird ends on 30th of November. You can register for these 2 programs from the link my colleague has shared across wavestrategy.com/BMW. I'm telling you, this option trading is going to be absolutely different the way you can trade this market. So Amrish Verma is saying you are great. All you give is awesome for me. Thanks for all. It's always pleasure. You know, अगर ये webinars जो मैं conduct कर रहा हूँ, you can learn from these webinars, but essentially, if you want to learn the best of it and understand what exactly I'm talking about, how wave B should behave, how wave C should come down, how options can be leveraged, whether to write or buy options, which strike price to select, how to look at an option chain, all of those things, if you want to understand, then I would suggest be a part of this wonderful program of BMW. The mentorship that has already started, one session is done this Saturday. We will have day 2 where we are going to be covering a lot about how to place stop loss and keep riding the trend by following a trailing stop loss method. That's day 2. We are going to do this Saturday. What should be the ideal capital for trade options? It depends. If you're buying an option, you might trade with 1 lakh capital also. If you're writing options, then yes, you require at least 2 lakh of capital, because then only you can write at least 1 lot or 2 lots. So on Nifty, yeah, this is purely from Nifty perspective I'm talking about. So it's important. Chandan is saying you are our pathfinder. Thanks, Chandan. I'm just a normal guy who wants to share across his learnings of 15 years of research with each one of you. That's what I'm doing it here. Okay, that's really great, and thank you everyone for joining in. I think this is going to help you. Do not buy the dips now. The possibility that sell on rise has started is this wave B, which is going to decide, and it's going to be the way to look at it. So it's very, very important that you understand very clearly on how to trade by using this wave theory. Wave theory is very, very important for us. When is the Black Friday sale for MOW? Seema is asking. This is a Black Friday sale, I would say, every until 30th, because this what we are offering as Master of Waves program is something very brilliant study in a very simple step-by-step fashion. Does not matter. Okay, so be a part of this wonderful journey, I would suggest. And if you enroll for BMW, I think in 32K you are able to get both options plus wave theory, and we will also have some concepts of time in the wave session. So that's going to be it. So can we use the bottoming cycle using time cycle? Yes, I have been doing that a lot. So that's why I'm saying tomorrow is the day where markets can show some positivity. But will I buy that? For intraday, I might do that, but positional trading, I will be still sell on rise. So intraday buy can be done, but carefully. But positionally sell on rise and keep a watch on the candle. That is very important, very crucial. Fair enough, guys. I'm ending the poll now. Thank you very much. It's always brilliant to be talking to each one of you. It's wonderful. And I really enjoy doing that. I hope in this kind of a trend, you make a lot of money now, because after a long time, we are seeing action with volatility of 300, 400 points. I do not necessarily see it as a risk. I see it as an opportunity. ठीक है, ये एक opportunity है if you know what your risk is. So do ensure you ride this trend and be a part of this wonderful program and journey that we are doing with every one of you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.